How's it going, everyone? Yeah, been doing much the last couple of weeks YouTube wise, but I've been sort of going hard, fitting a lot of stuff to my boat, and seeing it's blowing 20-25 knots, probably for the next 3, 4, 5 days plus. I thought I'd do a video and show you around my boat. Anyway, here it is. So it's a Clark Rebel 449 NQ model. Yeah, so 4.5 metre tinny, powered with a 4-stroke 50 horsepower Suzuki. So the package come with a 40, but I upped it to the 50. Gets me 30 knots if the weather lets me. Yeah, she's just on a Redco trailer. I have had the leaf springs upgraded due to some extra weight and whatnot over the years. Bought it in 2016. Fitted a spare tyre holder. Didn't even come with that when I bought the package. Now that I look back, there's a few things I should have friggin' asked for, but anyway. So yeah, just on a mount there, and yeah, so I'll jump up, and these here are the captain boat collars, but I'll run through them probably last. Yeah, anyway, we'll jump in, start having a look around. Now I'm just pointing shit out as I see it. None of this video is planned. So yeah, when I bought the boat, it didn't have any lights, didn't have the bimini. It was like just a basic as package. So everything I'm pretty much running through is what I've fitted over the 2-3 years, and a lot of the cool stuff is literally in the last 2 weeks. So but here's a bait board, so just a rail mount bait board, sort of put that anywhere around the boat, whatnot. Just little things like these little stick on carpet vinyl squares and whatnot just in front of the rod holders, so your reels aren't bumping, rubbing up against your gunnels. And down the side there, just some padding on the sides. Yeah, so jump in, eh? So she's a side console, as you can see. So starting at the transom there, you got the live bait tank. You got different storage hatches. This houses the starting battery, which I'll run through after. More hatches coming up the front, main hatch and a smaller hatch into the cast deck there. And you got your anchor wheel up the front here. My little arts and crafts skills pretty piss poor, but I just put some padding and some deck tape there just because my anchors are bigger than this and saving rubbing your boat away. Got 2 anchors now for if I'm camping on islands. I can double anchor instead of beaching it and breaking transducers, which I have done before. Yeah, now I fitted this about 12 months ago, the Minn Kota GPS iPilot. Thing's freaking sick. So I don't use anchors anymore. That's the main thing I use it for. You can do all sorts of Gucci stuff with it, but I mainly use it for its spot lock. And I've had it in hectic weather, and it holds this boat. That's the 55 pound, just runs off one 12 volt battery. Yeah, fitted the bimini, so I can have that. I normally travel with it facing forward, and then when I'm out actually fishing, and if I'm not using it, it finishes up nice and flush here at the back. So that's that. So these are the seats standard that come with it. Nice seats. So you had your sort of one there, and you had your third mount up here. So I've bought just a little cast deck stool, which I use up the front now. I mainly fish up the front. Which brings me to my new chair I've fitted. So this is a brand, Axis brand. It's a very comfortable chair, and I've fitted it onto a gas assist and adjustable leg, I suppose you'd call it. So this is at the lowest point. You pull these, it goes up, and that gives you that gas assist, and it's a real heavy duty one. I skimped out and bought the cheaper one to start with, and the thing was terrible, and this thing's solid as. So therefore, like, I didn't have to use the standard base plate, so I put a fourth one in here, which is good if I take the kids snorkeling, or just, you know, island barbies or whatever, for just gives everyone a seat, the 2 kids and me and the wife. Yeah, so that's the seating arrangements. What next? I might as well run through the battery system I put in it. Yeah, so like I said, I've got the starter battery in here, and then I had the second dual battery in here for running the Minn Kota, and I've just installed a third one for a fridge. So how I'm sort of running my setup now is I take a fridge, which, you know, put all your drinks and sangers and stuff in, and then I've gone, instead of an esky that houses everything, getting bait juice all through your bloody beers and soft drinks or whatever, I've gone the old insulated esky bag. So this is sick. You can, you know, chuck a bag of ice in it, and if you catch fish to keep and bring home for your family or whatever, you just put them in there, and whether you've got a couple of fish, and you can wrap it up and chuck it under your deck, or you can fill it full of meat Spanish and coral trout if you're lucky enough. So that's a good option instead of having a big esky, and that way I can fit the fridge. So how I've set the battery management system up is I've got a VSR. It's mounted on the side here. What's that stand for? Like a voltage sensor relay, I think, something like that. So basically, once you start your motor, the onboard alternator is charging this. When that reads 13.3, I believe, or 5, then it opens the gate basically and starts sending power down to my 2 batteries in here. So with that switch being turned on, that's accepting charge into both these batteries now. And then I've set it up on this so I can turn that off when I'm not travelling, which means I'm running a separate battery for each thing. So this one runs my Minn Kota Anderson into there, and that one's purely for my fridge. So I've got the Anderson part up here, tucks in under here, and then obviously I've widened my fridge to Anderson as well, so that all clicks in there. Yeah, it's under the cast deck. Got me 3 jerrys, so I've got the 2, I think they're 20 litres, but you fit about 23, 4 in them, so 2 of them. You just unplug and go on to the next one, and a 10 litre backup, which I've never had to use. Last fishing trip we got some mint weather out of Lucinda there, and we added up, we did about 120 kilometres just out exploring parts of the Great Barrier Reef, and that didn't even quite use 2, like 44 litres I suppose we used, about 40 litres. So it shows how good on juice it is. And then I've always got my wetsuit, couple of sets of masks and snorkels, my flippers go in under there too, and then through this hatch here I've got my 2 anchors and all my life jackets, and what do you call them? Fenders. So that's what's under the cast deck. Oh yeah, just fitted a little knife holder and pliers and lip grips and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, so also recently I've fitted a ICOM VHF. So that's Japanese brand. As you know, the Japs make good stuff. And then obviously fitted with an aerial that can lie down towards the back or the front. Yeah, yeah, like I was saying, this boat come with no lights, so I've installed a anchor light, nav lights, yeah, which brings me to my floodlight that I've installed. So I was looking at handhelds and whatnot, which I had an old one that was real crap though, like the old style yellow light. And I was in gun shops, marine shops, all that sort of stuff, and all the handheld ones are all halogen, like 100 watt halogen lights, and they're about anywhere from $180 to $300. Yeah, so I was in the marine shop and I seen this one, so they're pretty small too, but this is equivalent to 300 watts and it's LED, and it's got that marine rating. I forget what it's measured in, I think it's like P something, so it's made for salt water and all that. And then I've made a bracket, just basically some stainless brackets and U-bolts and an L bracket, and whipped up a handle, so when I'm cruising along I don't need to hold anything, and I can go up and down on it. I can swivel it all right and left. They even come right around to the back if I want to, but yeah, so that works really well. Floodlight. Us. And then I've got some installed gunnel lights, so like strip lights facing down all around the gunnels. So that's all on your switchboard and that here. Anchor light, gunnel lights, floodlights, nav lights. Flick through to some footage that I recorded at night time for that. Bilge pump, another thing that didn't come with the boat. I've installed that. That's down in there. So I've Sikaflex that to that plate that sits it up off the bottom. Saves it sucking in dirt, whatnot. There's the pump through here to the live bait tank. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. So with this battery management system, with that switch up the front turned on, that allows me to plug my battery charger in from home. That's why I've got this wired to the battery, plug it straight in, and that'll charge all my 3 batteries at once without me having to switch through all the batteries, which is really handy. Yep, where was I? I'm just freestyling here, I'm just looking at stuff and talking about it. Yep, fridge, just little tie down points for the fridge, strap her in. Yeah, talked about the bimini. Oh yes, I got this bad boy, the Lowrance HDS 12-inch carbon. So this thing's going to be boss. Obviously it's got all your 3D structure scan, side scan, all your pretty good down imaging and all the Gucci stuff. Hook it to the bloody net. I don't know, it's going to take me some getting used to, going from my old Garmin that didn't even have chirp. So this thing's going to be huge. It'll probably jinx me now, probably won't catch fish. But it also allows me to Wi-Fi connect, like it's got its own Wi-Fi, to a tablet or an iPhone or tablet, not tablet, bloody iPad or something. So I've got this heavy duty suction cap here and I can move it around anywhere in the boat. And yeah, it just allows me through an island cap, so it gives me a mirror feed of my sounder up the front there, at the back, and I can control it from either or, so that's really handy. Now I've got a caustic sounder too. I'll flick through some footage at night actually using that, so you can see them two running simultaneously. Oh yeah, Fusion stereo. So I've installed some beats, and then up the front here I've got my two speakers in the headboard there. So that works well. It's quite loud. I don't have cranking bass. It's just nice to have some tunes while you're enjoying the day out in the blue. What else we got? Talked about all this. I've just installed some waterproof 12 volt plugs. Yeah, for your, I don't know, phone chargers, whatever. I think that's about it. So like I said, it come pretty standard, but over the time I've put a lot of shit into it. Yeah, so I'll just run through some stuff besides my actual fishing gear that I carry on the boat. So I've gone through the esky bag. The old brag mat. Not too much bragging goes on. Just some marine shoes and whatnot. Aren't they ugly? But tell you what, they save me knees when I'm bashing out. First aid kit. Burley bag. All my marine maps, whatnot, so I know I'm not going in green zones. Sounder and that tells you that anyway, but it's nice to have a bit of paper, isn't it? For all the old school people that still like looking at maps and papers and whatnot. And then this is my main sort of container that holds all my essentials. Just different trailer plugs, some random hats, so in case I forget something I've always got it. Your little toolkit that comes with your motor, flares, flags, spare sunnies, and I've always got it, and muffs and plugs and whatnot for cleaning your motor. So that's that. Got my spear gun always in here. Never been a massive sort of what would you call it, water person. I surfed a lot when I was younger, but I don't know, the water freaks me out now that I've done a bit of fishing. But I'm going to get into a lot of snorkeling and hopefully some spearing too, so I love the idea of it, but just got to grow some bigger cojones and get into it, eh? Oh yeah, and the old big fish, is it gimbal? I think it's called gimbals or something, aren't they? I can't remember. Anyway, that's a quick look through the inside of my boat and sort of what I carry now. I think I've pretty much pimped her out, so to speak. I think it's got everything I'll ever need now. So anyway, I'll run through these boat collars and give you a brief idea on them. Yeah, so here's the boat collars. I got the idea from a bloke at work who he come across the product and sort of told me about it. He had a 4.3 metre boat, and he said, you know, he looked into it and it's really good. I'll leave the link in the description in case you're actually interested and want some legit information, because I'll probably just ramble and won't explain too much. But basically it was a Aussie fella that designed it. He was over on the west coast there about 6 years ago, and he hit home. Like they took off. I think he was on Current Affair and 60 Minutes and all this shit. It was sort of revolutionary in terms of safety and everything it you know does for you. And I think it's taken off a bit in the States and that too. But yeah, basically, as you can see, it's running along the whole length of your boat. So you can picture how much stability you're going to get off. Like, one thing with my boat, if you got a few dudes in the boat and you know you're all on one side, you get that shift and you get that wobble, and freaking it gets annoying. Whereas now it will just sit dead flat. It'll be like a pontoon in the water. So it's going to be awesome. And then all of you would know about sort of reverse tines. You see how small that bit is. Well, now I've got 150mm reverse tined, you know, so it's going to stop a lot of the spray, and it's designed, it pushes the water back in, so you get that slapping in tinnies when you got a bit of chop. So water, instead of spraying dead out, it's going to hit that and create a cushion back underneath you, or just keep the water under your boat, basically. The list is crazy what these things actually do. I'm just trying to think of everything. Oh yeah, planing. So another problem with this boat, if I'm sitting on that 6 to 8 knots trolling and that in mine, I can't plane because the boat will just go, it'll just sit like that because I haven't been able to speed up and then get on the plane and then maintain it. I'm just, trawling, you're going very slow. So obviously now with these on, the boat can't dip back. So you're out of the pocket straight away. There's no coming dipping down to get on a plane. It's always on a plane. Another thing with them, your boat steers straight. So when I'm cruising along and if I'm setting up a trawling rod at the back here, out the back, I've got to get someone to hold the wheel so the boat doesn't just start bloody hooking around. And you can just friggin' forget the wheel, set your course straight, let go of the wheel, walk down the back, unhook your lure, throw it out, set your distance, depth, mosey on back, grab the wheel, and you're still on, on path, which is going to be really good. Stability, control, all the rest of it, and it's actually makes your boat unsinkable. So if I was to put a big hole in my hull, the water can only fill up to this point in your boat. So, and vice versa, if shit really hit the fan and I flip the boat, it can only fill up, vice versa. So you've always got something to climb onto if you're not knocked out and already dead. So she's pretty happy with it, eh? Finally got it to where I want it. Anyway, I've got some holidays coming up at the end of this week, and if this bloody wind pisses off, I should be getting up to Cairns and doing a heap of snorkelling and fishing out the reefs. And my brother's flying up from Adelaide, so I'm going to try show him a good North Queensland time and show him where he should be bloody living. But hopefully get some good footage for all yous and get into some good camping and fishing and all that weekends outdoors shit. That's the other thing I'm doing. I've got a name for the boat and some custom stickers getting made up and that, so that's going to be good. But anyway, there's a run through my boat. Hope you like it, and cheers. Next level.